Welcome to Konkon's Cantina. Grab a drink, sit back, and relax.
Oh my gosh, everybody. Listen, my heart can't take it. Pretty sure I'm going to need high blood pressure medication after this. I had to get the wrist, the cuff out a couple of times. You know, I had to check the pulse. Disney just got done watched till the very end. Disney had their investor day today. And obviously, being a Star Wars Cantina podcast, had to talk about all the Lucasfilm news. Absolutely mind blown. Really, absolutely nothing negative to say at all, other than I wish we were getting these shows faster, of course. Before we get too far into it, okay, we got the cans on. We are a Cantina podcast and YouTube channel. So, of course, I am drinking some Sam Adams Oktoberfest, had to. And we have some of our Patreon members on the line right now from the Discord. Those members... Oh, I think we just had another one join, actually.
What's up, gentlemen?
Oh, and there is James. We have Matthew, the camping comedian. We have Chris from FOMOcast. We have Jonathan, and we have James.
Oh, hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
So, guys, we're just going to go into this one by one. I'm going to be introducing each of you to just give a short tidbit and your initial thoughts. Absolutely blown away. Not going to go into major detail as far as, you know, who's directing and all that kind of stuff. No, like, releasing of the timelines and all that stuff. That's just a lot of information that me and Justin will be going over in detail later. So right off the bat, we have the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. We knew that this show was coming. And we didn't get to see anything, no trailers. That was shown to investors only. So not a lot to say about this from my perspective, other than I'm glad that we're getting more Star Wars. I hope that the idea of the story I didn't care for until they finally said that Hayden Christensen is coming back. That was absolutely mind-blowing. Camping comedian, what do you have to say about the Obi-Wan Kenobi show?
Same thing. Hearing that Hayden Christensen's coming back to reprise the role is fantastic, and I just love that idea.
Chris from the FOMOcast.
I'm actually stoked that they said it was for Vader, and everyone was stipulating that he would come back as maybe a flashback as Anakin, but they said he would be Vader, so I thought that was pretty awesome.
Another keyword they said was that we will be getting another battle. So maybe some sort of an additional standoff between the two or something like that.
Or that's where the story's going to end.
Yeah, exactly. And Jonathan, what were your thoughts?
With all you guys excited to have Vader coming back, or Hayden Christensen coming back as Vader, I think we all want more BA Vader, like at the end of Rogue One. So I hope we kind of get that style with this. So that I think it's going to be really cool.
Next, we have, I think, my favorite, which was Star Wars Acolyte. This was a huge, left ball field. Had no idea this was coming. This is the Leslie Hyland thing that we've been talking about for so long. We speculated that, this is going to be the Ahsoka Sabine Wren show. You know, it's female forward, but we are getting our first dark side centric forward Star Wars show. Like, not a chapter book, not an audiobook. I mean, a actual TV show. Not many other details were given. It is supposed to be from Leslie. She has said that this is from an unexplored time period of Star Wars. This could be a completely new story. When I hear Acolyte, I kind of think of Inquisitor type style. Acolytes are also basically the Padawan version of Sith. Super excited about that. Camping comedian, first thoughts?
One thing I'm reading is that it's a mystery thriller set in the final days of the High Republic era. So, yeah, it's new content, stuff that nothing's been done on yet.
Mind blown.
So that's super exciting.
Literally mind blown. Chris from the FOMOcast.
Yeah, I'm excited as well. I think we only really get a dark side deep dive is in Clone Wars, really a little bit, not even that deep. So hopefully they go pretty deep on this one so it can expand the universe a lot more.
And Jonathan.
This was the one that I was actually most excited for, the whole mystery thriller. 200 years before Phantom Menace is what I'm reading, so I think this is a really cool show.
Yeah. Once again, kind of, I'm not going to say the rumor, but, a lot of these Star Wars leaks, rumors, they kind of start to come out. And something specifically for this show, I hope, is the leak / rumor that I heard. I don't seek out these rumors, and I'm not going to say it, but I think out of all the shows, this is the one that I'm personally most excited for. Give me new Star Wars characters, all that. And I think we all agree on that pretty much. Next, we have Star Wars The Bad Batch. Once again, this was already confirmed. This wasn't news to us, but we got a trailer, and the trailer was ridiculous. The animation was obviously Clone Wars Season 7 animation. This is where we were first introduced to The Bad Batch. The trailer was ridiculous. It was only 1 minute and 30 seconds. It was actually one of the shorter trailers that we got from the Disney presentation. Some of the things that I noticed right off the bat was, they go back to Kamino. Awesome. Can't wait for that. And I personally love them. I really want to do a tech cosplay myself. Cannot wait. Camping comedian, first thoughts.
90 of the best seconds of my entire life.
Okay.
Coolest thing that I've ever seen or will ever see again. So, actually, I haven't watched the trailer yet, but I heard that it's pretty awesome.
I haven't posted it on Instagram, but I have it ready to go. Trailer is absolutely amazing. Chris from the FOMOcast.
I like the vagueness of it, and obviously in the trailer it does hint at it being, I want to say, after Order 66 or pretty close to it.
Mm-hmm.
But you do get that vagueness where you can't tell if their inhibitor chip works or not.
Yep. So
that vagueness right there alone is got me really, really hyped up for that one.
That's awesome, and that's actually something that I didn't think about. There is an EU storyline where we have the Kaminoans. They start reproducing more clones to rise up against the Empire, and this was a storyline that was actually in the first Battlefront game, and it's also been told in some EU books. I'm hoping that they make this canon. I hope this is the reason why they're going back to Kamino, whether for that reason or they're going there, like you said, Chris, to explore why the clones did what they did. They don't have the inhibitor chips, or they do and they didn't work, whatever the case may be. Super excited about that. Jonathan, thoughts?
Yeah, with you guys, I love the Bad Batch and Clone Wars, so this is exciting. I haven't seen the trailer, but I'm excited to have a show involving.
Sorry, Jonathan. I keep putting you last, and I feel like you don't get to say some of your stuff. So I'm gonna rotate the order. So next we're gonna go Jonathan and then Matt. All right, next one that I've been hyped for. I have been waiting for this show since I was 6 years old. Okay, the Andor series. I cannot wait for this. The reason why I can't wait for the show is when Rogue One came out, fell in love with Rogue One. Depending on my mood, that bounces between Empire and Rogue One for my favorite Star Wars movie. So to have the main character, one of the main characters, have his own TV show, super excited about it. Also, his character profile on Wikipedia talks about that he was actually a spy for the Separatists during the Clone War. So I'm hoping that we dive into that, obviously, and then we get some more rebellion stuff. Jonathan's, what were your thoughts when we kind of got that behind the scenes? Have you seen the behind the scenes thing that they showed?
I haven't. I was just listening to what you were saying, but I did hear rumors about it being kind of like a spy kind of show. So
yeah,
that's exciting. I mean, I love all that stuff in regular movies. So
yeah,
to have something in the Star Wars era, I'm super hyped for it.
And the director, I said I wasn't going to go into director details, but I feel like I got to say this. The guy that did the Bourne trilogy is the one who's doing the show.
Oh my!
That's pretty ridiculous. Chris from the FOMOcast, first thoughts.
I was excited, just the little trailer tidbit they did about how excited he was to actually be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me feel like he's going to put extra effort to make it as Star Wars-y, because he mentions in the trailer how it was only one movie and they thought that was it. So you can feel how excited he is.
Yeah. And camping comedian.
I'm more excited now that you told me who the director is going to be, because the Bourne movies were some of my favorite of the newer secret agent type movies. So that's really cool.
Yeah. And even some of the behind the scenes stuff that we saw, once again, this is posted on the Facebook group. This is posted on the Instagram as well. that little behind the scenes thing. And on Disney Plus's Facebook, they also posted that trailer. A lot of cool stuff. They talked about they're treating this show absolutely no different than they would a movie set. They have over 200 named and costumed characters for this show, which seems absolutely crazy. And they have a ginormous budget. So super excited about that. Our next show, Rangers of the New Republic. Now, I want some speculation here from you guys, because if we don't get Appa from Kim's Convenience being his TIE fighter pilot in this show, honestly, no idea what this is going to be about. I'm assuming, once again, that this is going to be Rangers. These are going to be people exploring the Outer Rim, especially now that in The Mandalorian, spoilers for The Mandalorian, in the last episode, Finnick basically says that while they're out in Tython, which is supposed to be in the Outer Rim, that is now under the jurisdiction of the New Republic. So I think this is going to have like kind of a space explorer type of feel. Jonathan, what do you think?
And I think, from what I'm understanding, this is one of the shows that's going to cross over with Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we were talking about that on one of the past podcasts. We thought this was kind of building up to like a climactic story event with different shows on coming together. So I think this is going to be really cool.
Matt, camping comedian.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see them continue the story even further, and I'm hoping that all of this is a workaround of the storyline for the sequel trilogy, and we can figure out how to make it all make sense and be better.
Chris from the FOMOcast.
My excitement too is I hope that if it does tie into the Mandalorian, there's some hidden stuff that we weren't even thinking about because we were so focused on other stuff that maybe we missed something that could tie into this new show as well.
Good point. Yeah, didn't think of that. Our
Can
next.
I say something?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, because I think in The Mandalorian, they were wondering like, oh, what's the Republic doing out here anyways?
Mm-hmm.
And they were looking for. They thought there was the Empire was coming back. So I think maybe this will dive into why they're going to the Outer Rim so much, what they're looking for. So
this may be the most exciting news for Star Wars fans. Star Wars Ahsoka. The show that somehow we knew that we were going to get ever since the Rosario Dawson rumors. We knew that she was going to show up in The Mandalorian. We kind of fought it. We wanted the Mando to be his own show. We don't want it to be a cameo hour. And it's nice to see that I think that this is kind of confirming a little bit that we are moving away from a cameo hour, because now we have these other shows. We have these other shows that are being developed where these people are going to get spotlight. So much to talk about with Ahsoka. Super excited about it. Jonathan, first thoughts?
yeah, like you just said, I'm happy for her to have her own show where we can really see her star in it. And so that's going to.
Chris from the FOMOcast.
I'm excited. I just hope they don't. I mean, it's been so successful. I just don't want them to start just throwing random characters into different shows to try and make as many shows as possible. I feel like Star Wars is a tried and true method. Aside for some people, the sequel trilogy, they limit how much you know about a person, and then they may elaborate a little bit. But I don't want them throwing in 17 different characters. Side note: they should have a Hondo show before anybody else after this. So
Yes.
If that doesn't happen, then I'll be frustrated.
Oh, it's your greatest show. Yeah, exactly. Camping comedian.
He's a pirate, not a smuggler. Yes, good stuff.
Lost your thought on that one?
My train of thought. Yeah. Ahsoka show. I've been waiting for it, hoping that it was confirmed before it ever did. That Rosario would play the part, and I think her introduction just proved that she is perfect for it, and can't wait to see what they do with it.
Our next TV show, a show that nobody knew. I didn't see rumors. Saw absolutely no speculation about this other than people saying, hey, we would love this show. I hope this does not replace Solo 2. Okay, make Solo 2 happen. # make Solo 2 happen. We are getting a Lando Calrissian show. If Donald Glover does not reprise his role, this was another thing I thought was odd. It wasn't odd until we got to the Marvel section of the investor meeting. So if you didn't watch the investor meeting, we had presentations where Disney talked about all these shows. They gave us trailers if they could give us trailers. Some of the trailers they didn't show on screen because it was for the investors only. And in the Marvel section with Kevin Feige, not only did they tell you the directors, but they also told you who the main roles were going to be played by. Disney didn't do that. Kathleen Kennedy, or Star Wars, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, they didn't do that. They didn't tell us who these main people were, except for Diego Luna for the Landos, or the Cassian show. So hopefully Glover's coming back. I did think that he was a really good Lando. I see how some people could be like, oh, we don't need it. Some people view him as a side character. Really not a side character. And once again, this could just be another Marvel thing where these are platforms to intertwine movies, help things make more sense, and jumpstart other TV shows. So, Chris, FOMOcast, what were your thoughts when you saw Lando?
I mean, I texted you immediately because I was shocked. I was like, wait, there's a Lando show.
Mm-hmm.
That like you said, it flew under the radar. And Donald Glover has been a very big advocate for that character. So he needs to be the person. And fingers crossed, this leads to make Solo 2 happen. Maybe it's a lead into that. It redeems some characters for people who didn't like it. So fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan?
Yeah, not a whole lot of information on it, but I always loved him as a character in what we have already, so I'm excited for it.
And Matt?
I'm just piggybacking on Chris's comment because that's basically exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping it's not a Solo 2 replacement. I think we deserve something with Solo 2. I think we all agree. That movie is extremely underrated, and I think that movie just receives backlash solely because it came out after The Last Jedi, pretty much, in my opinion. Star Wars. They have finally announced their next film. 2023, December, Christmas. Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Full-length movie set in the era of the New Republic. Super excited about this. Something that we've talked about on the podcast before is a Star Wars movie. This isn't going to be a trilogy. This is going to be another, I don't want to say off film. What's the word I'm looking for, guys?
Standalone.
Standalone. Thank you. Standalone film. Love the idea of fighter pilots, kind of that not a Skywalker story, not a Jedi story, not a Sith story. This isn't a dark side. This isn't a light side. These are guys and girls in the battlefield flying these amazing starfighters that we fell in love with. I hope that, and especially with the preview that we saw from the director, if you haven't seen it, check out our social medias. I'll be posting it. Her father was a F fighter. So he flew a F-series jet fighter, and he died in action in the United States Air Force. And it's so cool that she took her love for flying and adrenaline that she learned from her father, and now she's literally directing a movie where she's combining her two favorite things, Star Wars and actual fighter jets. Super excited for it. Matt, camping comedian.
Pretty cool. This one is less interesting to me just overall because of the genre, but still everything Star Wars and it being a full-length movie is obviously can't wait to see it.
Chris from the FOMOcast.
So I got chills at first, and then now as I'm sitting here and listening to you, is all I can think of is it's going to be Top Gun in space. So
full send.
Like they need to make sure they got to go all full. Yeah, you said full send on Top Gun in space, and just seeing the pictures. Most of the articles I've seen have been sharing a picture of Luke in the cockpit, which is not going to happen, but it did give me kind of chills of maybe seeing different alien races, not just humanoid figures. And that way you could, get more established how the rebellion, or I said the New Republic, is not just humanoid people. And I'm excited.
Yes. And Jonathan.
I love all things dogfighting in space. So Top Gun's amazing. And this is, if they can just like you said, full send it. But I feel like this is something we don't even know we need yet. But once we get it, it'll be amazing.
Yeah, I'm super excited for it. And to wrap this up with the Star Wars news, the last thing that we got, Star Wars Droid Story. Kathleen Kennedy introduced this by explaining that this would be iconic roles played by the droids we know, R2-D2 and C-3PO, going on missions that we didn't know that they go on. These also could play other roles from other droids that we saw. However, she did not specify whether this was animated or live action. If she did, I missed it. And once again, we'll be going into major detail in a full-length episode. Got to rewatch the whole thing, type it back up. I'm super excited about this. I love droids of Star Wars. They're the unsung heroes. If it wasn't for BB-8 and R2-D2, I mean, the entire legacy cast of every Star Wars film would be dead. So I'm super excited about it. Jonathan.
Yeah, and I don't have a whole lot to say on this one, but yeah, I think I'm like all the rest of them, excited.
Chris from FOMOcast.
So, spoiler for The Force Awakens, which not really, but if you play the Lego Star Wars games, you have one of these stories in the Lego Star Wars games.
Mm-hmm.
And about how C-3PO gets his red arm.
Mm-hmm.
And just based off that Lego version, if you haven't seen it or read the comic about it, it's an amazing story. And if they go along those lines, that show may be animated or whatnot, maybe one of my favorite shows, because I do love the droid stories.
And we also have that new VR game that just came out, Tales of Batuu, I think is what it was called. That's also a, C-3PO and R2 are in there. So, I mean, there's definitely some potential here. Anything to help tie in and add to these stories, I'm all for. Matt?
Yes, but I think that I'm not going to be happy unless they do an episode of all mouse droids reading their logs and their responses.
Hey, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Guys, thank you very much.
You did forget one thing, though.
Oh, what?
The short story animes featuring the Japanese.
You know what? Yeah, I did. Star Wars Visions. Totally did.
Yep.
She said that Kathleen said that it was 7 different stories being told from these writers and these animators, if I remember right.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And she said it was all done in Japanese anime style. I know plenty of Star Wars fans have seen renditions of Star Wars via anime style, and I think it's something everybody is totally down for. So, yeah, and no, I don't remember if she gave a release date. Once again, we'll be doing an episode that deep dives on every single one of these because directors' release dates, or at least, rough release dates were mentioned. But as far as the rest of the... Yeah, and as far as the rest of the Lucas wrap-up, they announced the Willow movie that's coming to Disney+, which they had talked about that already. They confirmed another Indiana Jones movie, and then the last thing was Children of Blood and Bone, which they did not give a lot of detail about. Surprisingly, they also didn't say that Mandalorian Season 3 is going to start filming. That was also something that I was surprised about.
Didn't they have the logo up, though, for it?
Yeah, they have the logo up there. When they put everything up in that Marvel-esque type thing, it is up there because obviously it's going to continue. I just expect it's like Marvel just gave more details, and I wish Star Wars would have given as much detail as Marvel. But guys, thank you so much for joining us quickly on this little reaction thing. Once again, we'll be going into this full depth on the podcast. You can check all that stuff out. Facebook.com/Konkons Cantina, Instagram at Konkons Cantina, YouTube/Konkons Cantina, Patreon, Konkons Cantina. Guys, thank you very much for being here. Once again, look out for that episode. Tomorrow is Mandalorian. We have 2 episodes left, guys. 2 episodes left. My heart can barely take it, let alone all this other stuff that we are getting now. Great time to be a Star Wars fan. Thank you very much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next time.